This is Cynthia Newman from the marketing department, and I'm happy to share with you a practice that I thought worked really well for a team project that I gave in my international marketing class. This class was taught remotely. We had synchronous and asynchronous meetings, and there was a two-part term project. The first part was individual research that students did on a particular country, trying to investigate whether it was a good potential target of entry for Dunkin'. This was a country where Dunkin' currently did not have a presence. So the students would work with Diane Campbell in the library, and they conducted a lot of research to evaluate and come to a decision as to whether the country that they were assigned would be a potentially good entry point for the company. The students then were formed into groups based on geographic location of their countries, and each group had 3 to 4 students in it, and the groups needed to have a dialogue or an exchange about each of the 3 or 4 countries represented in their group and come to a decision as to which of those countries would be the best candidate to enter. And students needed to share their work with one another and then have a debate, a discussion to come to a conclusion. Since we weren't meeting in person in class, I decided to take advantage of the discussion boards that could be set up for each individual team, and I asked them to interact with their team members to discuss the pros and cons of Dunkin' entering each of the countries that they've been assigned. Each student needed to make their initial post about their country and their recommendation of whether to enter or not before they could see other students' posts. Once everyone had posted, then the discussion pivoted to saying, okay, now let's debate which would be the best country for us to choose as a group to move forward to the second part of the term project, which was a team development of a marketing strategy for that country, and then doing an oral presentation. So what we see here, and you'll see at this point right here that I said the discussion wasn't graded per se, but if students didn't participate to the extent that they were supposed to, their project grade, their team project grade would be reduced by half a grade. So a little bit of incentive there. So I just chose one of the sample teams to show you. This team began their discussion on June 11th. And over the course of the semester, of 2.5 weeks, they engaged in 31 different exchanges. So these are the initial posts that students made. And then they began entering into the debate about what country they would end up choosing. And then this team went beyond what my requirements were for the discussion board, and they actually continue to use the discussion board as they develop their presentation and their marketing strategy. So they continue to use it as a resource for collaboration. So that is my tip.